Hello everyone, welcome to the first review going live on RMG MD Punk. Now I'm joined here by the two gentlemen who helped me play the game,
Ricky
and Jalen.
and you'll know their YouTube channels are Hardcore, Usopp, and Dogongo. And we're going to be talking about One Piece Gigant Battle 2 for the Nintendo DS. The last part and the specials video should be up by now.
Yep.
So let's talk about the game very briefly, what we liked and disliked about it, and we'll start off with Ricky, who did actually most of the gameplay here.
Fucking Jinbei. There's stages. I love the game. Honestly, I love the game. It had good, the support characters, had a fucking ton of them. It had a ton of characters, playable, 45. That's, most in any One Piece game yet. And they were all varied. I mean, the combos are pretty much the same because, what can you do on a DS, honestly? You can't do complex shit. That wouldn't work. But, yeah, there was one main problem, and that was the stages. God, the stages. No, this one where fucking 3/4 of the stage was ice, and you'd slide around like you were on freaking Disney on ice.
You want to talk about the Fishman Island stage?
I'll talk about that rather than talking about the ice capades. But, it was the Marineford stage. If you're fans of One Piece, you obviously know about Marineford. If you're not, watch that shit. Or read it. Whatever. But, yeah. Ice. Fucking ice. Fire. Brimstone. All that. And the fucking Fishman Island. There are two Fishman Island stages. One, there's this one mission where you gotta break boxes and shit. One time we hit a box and it went on this little elevator thing that went and launched a box into the air. It happened 3 times. I don't understand how. And the other one fucking, alright, you had to go against Jinbei and Hody Jones at the same time, who had unlimited support characters, it seemed. I'm not sure. And freaking, this level had little water things that would move like a freaking conveyor belt. I thought it was in fucking Fishman Island, not the factory.
Big Man's Candy
Big
Factory.
Man's Candy Factory.
Which was in the background of that stage.
It was. Just chilling. And one time I did my level 3 super. Killed one of them, then fell and died. Because the stage pushed me fucking back.
Any closing thoughts on Gigant Battle 2 for you, Ricky?
It was a pretty good game. Sometimes the difficulty just went nuts. Like the handicap battles. But overall, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was
Alright.
pretty damn good.
Alright, Jalen?
Okay. Now, Ricky addressed a good bit of the problems in Gigant Battle 2. Hilariously so. Yeah. Ranging difficulty-wise, I felt that that was just difficulty that shouldn't have been there. Like, say, the Frankie versus Frankie and Shiki.
Ooh.
And on this stage that has all these things going on.
So much that it makes the emulator lag to the point where we did have to cheat on the final boss because we were dropping at probably 20-25 frames per second.
Yeah.
It was impossible to beat the game without this cheat
It
code.
was a fucking family slideshow. Look at this picture. Mount Rushmore.
Meanwhile, Shanks is just fucking you up with his little Shanks pirates.
Yep.
And difficulty-wise, yeah, but the stages visually are good. The gimmicks in the stages are dumb. A few are nice, but too much is a problem. AKA ores coming out and breaking stuff. As cool as it was. How about conveyor belts? Water conveyor belts, and how about the fact that in that concert stage, Frankie goes ow, and then just flames come out of nowhere. Hope has a stage where smoke covers Hachi.
Human Torch might as well took the shit and that shit went.
Oh my god. Yeah, Hachi was one of the most annoying support characters near the end of the game. Because every time you fought Jinbei, Hody, or Vander Decken, they had Hachi as a support character.
It would blacken the damn screen, and you're vulnerable everything.
No point in blocking because they'll just throw you.
They'll just throw you across the map.
Anytime you block the enemy, it'll just throw you 50 yards away.
Oh, so terrible. And other than that, and it's difficult. The game gets really difficult, especially later on. And then you have an extra world,
Which we didn't do.
Yeah, we didn't do. But if what we played was really hard already, what do you think that extra level's gonna be?
Which supposedly the last level of the post-game stuff is versus Shanks and Whitebeard at the same time.
They might as well kick me in the balls.
Now, I'm not saying difficulty is a bad thing, but with the additions of everything in it, it creates artificial difficulty, which is not needed. And thus, that decreases the game's score, because it makes it frustrating to play. Honestly, as we all learned from Demon Souls and Dark Souls, that's not how we like our lives to be. So, in my judgment, I give One Piece Gigant Battle 2 a 7.5.
Alright, so I guess that leaves me to talk about the game now. I kind of picked out this game at random. We were testing out, me and Ricky were working on emulators, trying to see what would work so we could see what I could play for the channel. I was like, well, let's just try Gigant Battle 1, and that worked out well. So I was like, well, let's try the second one because it's so much better.
Oh, yeah.
So we started playing it. It ran pretty smoothly. For us on our side, it was kind of laggy at points, especially when the, some stages where, like the last stage, the Brooks concert stage, where there's just so much going on in the background and the foreground with the audience that it becomes hard to really see what you're doing with the mist. It's hard to make sure that you're beating your enemies because you can't see them. But you know, in the videos you can't tell that it was laggy because the recorder does actually record it at the proper frame rate. But the worst part about the game was probably some of the support characters and the stages, like I mentioned before. But on the bright side, you do have so many different main characters and support characters to choose from that it really adds a lot of variety to how the game can turn out, because for most of the stages in the campaign, you can pick whoever you want. So if you want to go take Eneru and go kick Wapple's ass, you can. You can take, and if you're Eneru, you can bring along Luffy, Magellan, and Akainu as your support characters, and and even Oda himself. Odachi does appear as a support character in the game. The music was fantastic. No one mentioned the music yet, so I guess I'll do it. I loved the soundtrack of the game. The Fishman Island overworld map theme was probably my favorite track. There's a lot of content to this game. For a DS game, there is a lot of content. Because you have your campaign, there's a versus mode, there's a training mode. You can have Wi-Fi battles if you actually use it on your DS. But there is a lot of text on the menus, unlike One Piece Kaizuka Musou. So if you can't find a good guide or you can't read Japanese very well, you're gonna have a hard time going through the menus like we did. Even me, who's taken some courses on Japanese, I couldn't understand a lot of the menus because there's just so much text in your face at once. The level up system is kind of hard to understand. It probably wouldn't be so bad if it was in English. Let's see, what else? But honestly, the worst part about the game were the stages. The best part about the game was probably the gameplay itself, which was, well, it was fun. It's simple and fun, and that's all you really want out of a DS party fighter style game. You don't want it to be frustrating. You don't want it to be complex and hard to understand. You want it simple and fun, and Gigant Battle 2 succeeds in that aspect, because even though we did get mad at points, it was still a fun game to play, and we hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough as much as we did recording it. It was one of the few times where I didn't add commentary. That won't happen very often, because I felt like we didn't want to commentate like 2 or 3 minute videos and not 80 of those. That was too much. I'm missing anything?
Not that I can think of. Some of the missions were stupid.
Oh yeah, some of the missions. They try and give you variety, and in some aspects it succeeds, and some it fails. Like missions where you have to break a certain amount of boxes or gather certain items before your AI does. And at first it's not so bad because you only have one opponent, but later on you'll have like 2 or 3 opponents on the same team when you're by yourself.
And the items always seem to respawn near them.
Yeah, you'll have to hunt for the items, but the AI will seem to always know where they're gonna show up, and if they're gonna farm, the AI is gonna be there, and they're gonna keep respawning and taking them, and all of a sudden you could find yourself like a score of 9-2 with 5 seconds left to go because one of your enemies will get the items and the other one will just kick your ass and keep you back away from where the items spawn.
Sometimes the AI had dirt moments, like the very end of whenever I was fighting Blackbeard.
Yeah, sometimes the AI just kind of stands there and lets you hit your specials on it. But sometimes the AI was just relentless.
Oh God, yes.
It really depends on
how
they feel, honestly, yeah. But I don't think there's much else I can say about the game. So if I had to give it a score, I would probably give it a let's see. I think I'll just go with the lowest score here and give it a 7 because there are a lot of positives for the game, but the negatives kind of outweigh most of the positive stuff for me. You can't really have a good fighting game without good stages, and the stages, while they look great, about a good 3/4 of them will kill you. The stages themselves will kill you before your opponents will, and that's really what brings it down for me. So, any closing thoughts in general?
None that I could think of. I had said all I wanted to say.
Yeah, same for me.
Alright then, so to recap our scores going in order, Ricky gave it an 8, Jalen gave it a 7.5, and I gave it a 7. And we're all huge One Piece fans here at RMGMD Punk, so look forward to more One Piece related content. Possibly we'll take requests for Versus Mode, Gigant Battle 2 videos at some point down the line. But as for now, I'm done with Gigant Battle 2 for the foreseeable future. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review and enjoyed the playthrough. And I hope you'll look forward and watch my new content.